Sap. Just a test. Just a test. But dang. Won't be here long. Trying this out real quick. Haunted house. Nice. This is always a classic right here. Yeah, I've never done any live broadcasts, so this is the first time ever. I'm just trying it out on my PS5. I don't have a laptop, otherwise I'd be doing Atari stuff all the time on emulator. But, yeah, this is a great collection, Sergeant Tom. I've had it for a long time on PS4 and just decided to finally throw it on my PS5 since I got a PS5 camera. I really need to just go ahead and get the Atari 50 on my PS5 also. I have it on my Switch. But there's so many great games on it that now that I'm doing a lot of stuff on my PS5, I should just double dip and put it on there. Yeah, I just got it yesterday, so I need to play around with it more, see what I can do. I have a green screen that I use for my videos, and I edit and stuff. I have that out in my garage. So I ordered one, a smaller one for in here for my PS5. That should be coming tomorrow, and I'll definitely play around with that more when I'm doing videos from the PS5. But yeah, I think I will get the Atari 50 for this so that I have a lot more Atari games to pull from. For the PS5. Whoops. Messing around talking, got killed by the ghost. This has always been a favorite. Like I said, Christmas of '82 when we got our Atari. This is one of the games my dad grabbed for us. He's always loved haunted houses and Halloween and everything, so always a classic. I thought I'd try this out real quick before the family grabs me to do something today. Not feeling great today either, but there's always time for Atari. So I'm not really paying close attention to what I was doing here. Savage! How's it going, Savage? Great to see you. Yeah, I didn't make an announcement. This is the first time. I did a live premiere a year and a half ago where I kind of sat there and chatted with everybody, but I've never actually played anything live before. I'd like to do that. I need to get a laptop and actually do this more often. Haunted House. I'm playing it on the PS5. I actually bought this collection years ago. The At Games collection for my PS4. And since you can pretty much play everything you had on your PS4 and your PS5, yeah. Yeah, Sergeant Tom, I know what you mean. Had a little Milwaukee's Best myself right before bed last night. Fridays are terrible for me because Oh, tried it again. The family wants to stay up extra late, and I got up for work at 3:40 in the morning Friday morning, and then I just stayed up with the family, and we didn't go to bed until after 3 a.m. So I was up for like 23 and a half hours by the time I went to bed. Had some Milwaukee's Best there, and yeah, so I was exhausted. So I didn't wake up till like noon today, and the rest of the family still crashed out. Well, except for my son. He had to get up for work at like 6 a.m., so he'll be getting done here soon. And then they'll probably expect me to run around today. Man, I'm out of it, along with the normal health issues here. Just out of it today. There was a haunted game, yeah, with like witch and stuff like that. I didn't have that. We had Clue, and we played Clue a lot growing up. My dad even had a version of Clue when he was growing up, I think in the 50s or early 60s. Loved that game. And then there was video game versions of Clue, too. What was it? Super Nintendo, I think, had a Clue version for it that was pretty cool. Try another game select here. Here we go. One with unlocked doors, all in the dark here. We'll try this one. Yeah, these collections are nice. I have these collections on just about everything. Now, this was at Games that did the Flashback collections for all of these systems. Like I said, I got this on PS4. Pretty sure I have these on the Switch. I think they 1 and 2 came out in one volume on the Switch. And then on the VCS I have sitting here, there are 2 collections like this I have on the VCS. A lot of the same games on all of them. And then, of course, I have pretty much all of these carts in the basement for my original hardware on all of these. But I think the Atari 50 collection has a lot more of the games. You know, you have also the arcade games. So I need to go ahead and put that on there if I'm going to do more of this live stuff, just to have it all in one place. Yeah, that's a note. Run away. Find where the last piece of the chalice is here. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly how this was going to go, so I didn't make an announcement. Said I got another green screen / blue screen to put in here for a setup. It's not often I can play in here, but yeah, I'll be seeing my neurologist again in April here. He had me do a lot of blood work. He wants me to do another sleep study. I did one for him 2 years ago, but we're back to the drawing board. Now, with that sleep study that I did originally, they did find that I had sleep apnea. I stopped breathing 93 times in an hour. So they did find sleep apnea, but he thinks there's something even more going on. I do see a cardiologist once a year. I see a pulmonary doctor once a year, but everything comes up clear on that. So that's why it's once a year. I do have to see them. They put me on a new medication where the side effects seem to be worse than what I'm actually having. So, yeah, I've used mine for the last 2 years, and I don't mind it. A lot of people hate their CPAP. It definitely helps me with my sleep. I've been happy with it. But a lot of strange things just happen to me during the day. I'll start getting shaky. Light irritates me, things like that. And just some strange thing. I'll start getting a lot of pressure in my head. Just a lot of strange things happen. And I work a 10-hour work day every day. 50-hour work week for the most part. Sometimes more if we have to work weekends. And it's an hour drive to work, an hour drive back. So it's just, I don't get a whole lot of sleep. A lot of that's my own fault. I don't get myself to bed. And the next thing you know, it's 5 hours or 4.5 hours of sleep a night. I definitely just gotta tell myself to get to bed at 8 o'clock at night instead of going to bed at 11 o'clock and waking up so late. Get away from me, ghost. Oh, wait, I got the scepter. What am I running for? Haha! Yeah, I gotta try to get more sleep. It's always that feel like I'm missing out on something. You know, I catch up on all my buddies on, yeah, I try to catch up on YouTube at night and catch up with the family when you can. And really, that's what I wrap up with every night with is people on YouTube rather than TV anymore. I find more entertainment in watching my buddies play games on YouTube than I do in movies and TV anymore. Even though we've got a lot of streaming services and channels and everything else, I'd rather watch retro games and pinball games and everything else like that. But, and then trying to find time to make my own videos. I try to do that on Saturdays and Sundays. I need to think up what old game I'm going to play here this weekend. I like digging into the, well, definitely Atari, but and television is a lot of fun. And I'm thinking about doing Thunder Castle this week just because that's such a cool game. The music and everything on that game really impressed me when I first played it like 6 years ago. Okay, now I don't even remember where I left the first two pieces when I grabbed the scepter. I gotta find the third piece. There's the first two pieces. Floor 3. Where's the third piece? Let me get to talking. Ooh, there's the bat. There's the bat. Get away, get away. Let's go down to 2. Oh, no. 2. Yeah, definitely. Definitely Savage. I need to grab that Pandora and get it out. That's why I would like to have a laptop so I could do a bit of everything. Got so many things laying around. Some emulation would be cool where I could just sit and do some live stuff. Let's get back down to 2. It's funny because I soft modded my Wii years ago. Actually, I got it for the kids for Christmas one year and actually soft modded it before I wrapped it up and gave it to them. So I had all kind of emulators on it. There we go. And it's right on the first floor. How did I miss that? So I had everything on that thing for the kids, you know, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, all kind of stuff on there. And NES, of course, and just loaded it with ROMs. And we played that for years. And then at one point it stopped working. About a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And I bought a new power supply. I thought that was it, and it wasn't working. So I just kind of gave it up for dead. I thought at one point maybe it's the motherboard or something, you know. Just kind of left it sit. And my son was actually messing around with it when I was at work the other day. Been almost 2 years since we touched the thing. And he just messed around with it and jiggled the wire on it and got it going again. I came home from work and he's like, hey, the Wii's working again. All those emulators on there. So I've had emulators on computers before. But yeah, he got that all working. So that's cool. We can go back on there and play all that stuff we put on there. Tons of games, Atari and television and 7800, 2600, Game Boy Advance, all that cool stuff. So, but like I said, with that stuff, it was kind of like if I want to record it, you got to point the camera at the TV. I don't have a capture card or like a laptop or anything to get that stuff. With the PS5, it's kind of cool the way you can record everything right on the thing. And, you know, now I got the camera yesterday. I can do this kind of stuff. But like I said, I don't know how long I'll be on here. I've never done this before. This was just kind of a test here, but I'm sure the family will be trying to round me up and get me to do stuff. You know, who wants to do stuff? But probably go out to eat or something. Wind's really picking up outside today, so I really don't want to be doing any outside work, but I may have to. Just had a new roof put on the other day. Hopefully that don't all blow right back off again. Okay, let's see. How do I get out to play a different game here? Try to remember. Get the power. That just turns that off. Game select. Exit game reset. Alright. There we go. Main menu. Let's see. What were some other fun games? They didn't put a lot on these. Like, this is volume 2. We have Secret Quest, Sentinel, Baseball, Race. Missile Command is always a classic. We don't have paddles here. We got our PS5. DualSense. Hangman. Gravatar is a fun, but also a challenging game. I don't care for that Return to Haunted House. Yeah, water heater. New tires, yes. Just had my daughter. My daughter's in college. Just had her car inspected. We need new brakes, rotors and pads on that thing. So that's going to be a good $400. And that's before the end of this month. So we'll be getting that done this Monday. And then my wife's car and my car are due for inspection before the end of April. So that's next month, and I'm sure we're going to need stuff for it. Yeah, so everything's going to be due at once on that. Hopefully we don't need new tires on both of our cars, or So we have all 3 cars. Yeah, everything's expensive, like mad, crazy expensive. Yeah, Missile Command is awesome. My brother had that game, which I still have, for our Atari down in the basement down there. And trying to see, I think I have all of these now, except for, some of these were newer that they put on these flashback systems, maybe prototypes or homebrews that people had made in recent years. And Night Driver was one. I remember it being at the Kmart kiosk near us all the time, and I would play it every chance I could. I didn't have that one as a kid, but I would play it pretending I was driving cars as a kid. Adventure was one, too, I had. Yeah. Dehumidifier, we do have one down there, yes. Yeah, we have one down there, and it's funny, my dad has a dehumidifier in his basement still, the house that I grew up in. He bought one from Montgomery Ward back in the late 70s, and he's still using that same exact one. So that's how things lasted back then. Yeah, if you get anything damp going on in the basement, dehumidifiers work great, and especially, the ones they have now work wonderfully. We have this one here, and sometimes it gets a little damp because we have a sidewalk that leans towards, through the years it kind of angles towards the house there, and so if it rains hard, it gets a little damp along the one side wall there, and so we have it down there set to turn on, and works great, keeps everything dry. Now I keep my games on the other side, our game room over there. It doesn't get too damp over there, but Crystal Castles, another fun one. Yeah, I have a volume 1 on here as well. I'm not sure if this will take me out of my live stream if I go to another game or not. I could go to Flashback volume 1, but I don't know if it'll totally bump me out or not. I'm not sure how Missile Command will play without paddles, but let's give it a try. Try using the thumbstick or the D-pad. Oops, missed that. Missed that. Yeah, it's kind of weird because, like, my brother that's 2 years older than me, this was his game, so it all depended on how his mood was. For some reason, he had a rivalry with me. So if he was in a good mood, I was allowed to play his game. If he wasn't, then I wasn't allowed to play it. This thing with him and me, he could be kind of a jerk to me. So, but he was also like my best friend growing up, so I looked up to him. But yeah, he could be that way with me. Like, hey, I'm going to play Missile Command. No, you're not. I didn't say you could play it. You know, he always had to let you know he was the boss. Yeah, sibling drama for sure. He was always kind of pissed, I think it was, because growing up, a lot of times people would ask my mom if we were twins, because I was a little bit bigger. I'm 2 years younger, so that would make him a little mad. But it's funny, he always knew as kids he was gonna, oh man, he was gonna go into the Army, you know, and then he did end up going into the Army when he got older. He was in the Army. My oldest brother, that's 4 years older than me, was in the Navy, and then I ended up going into the Air Force. So, all different branches. And we all still live relatively close by. My oldest brother has 2 sons now that are in the Navy. Like, he was in the Navy. My dad was in the Navy. Brother, both of his older boys are on aircraft carriers, 2 different aircraft carriers. He was on a battleship. My dad was on a destroyer. Oh, man. I'm messing up. That's all my brother's fault for not letting me play this when I wanted to. And I still have that same brother. He had Kangaroo for the 2600. And I still have that cartridge down there, too. And he got so mad one time. My dad, in the 80s, he got one of those labelers that you could punch anything into the label that you wanted to. For whatever reason, my dad got on a kick. If we were going to be lending out our games, he was putting our name on the games. He punched in our names on those labels, and he was putting them on the spine of the 2600 games. And he put my brother's name on that Kangaroo cartridge. Oh, man. Game over, man. Put my brother's name on that Kangaroo cartridge. My brother got so mad, he didn't want that on there. He wanted that cartridge pristine. So when my dad wasn't looking, my brother tried to peel that off there, and it ripped that end name off of that Kangaroo cartridge. To him, it ruined that cartridge. I remember he was so mad about that. And I still have that cartridge downstairs. There's no Kangaroo on the end of that cartridge anymore. But yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, I didn't announce this, but I should probably get going here. What time are we at? 2:43. But yeah, I still get some of those from Video Games Monthly, or I did when I was doing Nintendo cartridges. Oh, people's names across the cartridges. For a while there, I was taking that stuff off of there. But yeah, thanks for coming in, Sergeant Tom. I appreciate it. Now, if I can figure out how to end this broadcast, maybe we'll get this down to a science next time I come on here. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the conversation. This was fun. Let's see here. What do I hit? How do we end? All right, we'll see you next time, guys.